Breaking news, Nikola Jokic is back, baby. We're very excited to cover it here. We're going to get into all of the layers. He's back tonight against the Los Angeles Clippers. We're going to talk about how it affects the Nuggets, obviously, on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Network, your team every day. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode, being an everydayer, making us your first listen here on the Locked On Podcast Network. My name is Ryan Blackburn, host here, joined by Matt Moore. We are both very excited. We've covered the Nuggets for a long time, been at the arena for a long time, and whenever Jokic misses games, the first game back where you actually get Jokic back is always just so awesome. And we've got plenty, actually, we don't have a lot of experience going through this, if I'm being honest, because it very rarely happens. So everybody is excited. The crowds are going wild, and you best believe that the Jokic announcement in the starting five will go crazy tonight. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, Matt, we have a very straightforward show today. The best player in the world, a three-time MVP, the central figure of everything that orbits around the Denver Nuggets is back. When you were first seeing the news, what was your immediate reaction?
Total shock and surprise. If you're a member of our Discord over at the Everydayers Club, you might have had some inklings this morning. The other thing here's I'm going to take you back to last night. So Ryan, we're sitting there and we're in the press conference. David Adelman. And at the end of it, Adelman says, they're asking about what's your preparation like for tomorrow? And he says, well, obviously, first thing, really excited to look and see what the report says in the morning. He said, well, not excited, just see who's going to play. Didn't catch it. I was like, did he? No. I thought I was like, no. And today he's going to be like, no, I had no idea. I had zero clue. Liar. They're all liars. Honestly, Nuggets fans needed this. Because as well as the team has played going 10-6 without Nikola, everyone was just like, this is such a grind now. The thrill of the Sixers and Celtics wins were over, except for Cam, who continues to replay it over and over and over again in his mind as a justification for his takes about certain players. It's been tough. It's just been tough. And so getting Nikola back, Cam will probably be within the next week. Then maybe Christian. And you can start to look like the Nuggets again. You will look like the Nuggets, even with AG out for 4 to 6 weeks. They're going to look like the Nuggets a lot more. And that is good for everybody. This helps everybody out. You don't have to worry as much about the wear and tear on Jonas. You don't have to worry as much about the wear and tear on Jamal. You don't have to worry as much about the wear and tear on other guys this. And you get some real minutes here with Nikola, with Peyton, and this version of Peyton to see what he's capable of. It's just great to have him back. No matter if they win or lose tonight, it's just going to be great to have the best player in the world back on the floor.
One of the things that I mentioned, I think it was at the arena, one of the things we're talking about, and I said this, and it feels pretty real, that it's just hard for me to have significant takeaways about who this Nuggets team has been during this stretch. I think we figured it out. They're tough. They are resilient. They have a whole talented players, but also we're kind of playing over their heads a little bit, and winning in the clutch and winning in these situations where these games were coming down to the wire, whether they were against good teams, bad teams, or whoever. And Denver was fighting, scratching, clawing for all of these victories and doing a great job with it and deserve a ton of credit. You need to figure out who your identity is. You need to figure out what the drivers are going to be behind winning a championship. And obviously, Jokic is at the center of that. Jokic is in his health, of course, which is why they've taken so much time in terms of making sure that he's all good to go. It's the reason why they're going to win a championship, if anything at all. So I think that this was obviously a factor. Jokic clearly chomping at the bit, ready to come back, and it's nice to see him back. Were you surprised that this was the game that ultimately made it happen?
No, because I don't think when people were like, I want everybody to remember this when they're like, well, he's not coming back against this team because that's too tough. Because everybody's like, well, he's not coming back against the Pistons. They're too tough and physical. Yeah, so he chose to come back versus Ivica Zubac and Brooke Lopez.
Yeah.
Cool. Honestly, here's what I heard from another team. Okay, this is not Nuggets intel. This is from another team. Is they said, "Oh, we heard he was going to come back in the Pistons game, but he just didn't feel great after his workout the day before, so they decided to go ahead and wait 2 extra days, and they weren't going to play him on the back-to-back." Like, so yes, Ryan, you thought he was going to be available for the Pistons game, and that probably where he was going to come back. But that happens, right? It's just like,
of course, no, of course, like that's a logical thing.
The other thing here, I think, is it should be said. Some people in the comments have asked, yeah, he's going to be on a minutes restriction. Somebody asked if there's a high chance of re-injury, and the answer is not directly for the knee. Like, you're not more likely to suffer. Like, it's not like you suffer a hyper. I have personally not seen a situation where somebody suffers a hyperextension, comes back, and then suffers like a tear, knock on wood, right? But there are concerns about the return from injury just in terms of the soft tissue. You don't want him going out with a calf or a hamstring or whatever else.
Condition.
So he's going to play less than 30 minutes. I would tell you he's probably going to play between 25 and 30. Like, Jonas is on a 25 to 30 minute restriction that he blew past in the last game, but he played 25 last night. And if you look at the rotation pattern, that's where they're at. So like between Jokic and Giannis, or between Jokic and JV, I've been talking a lot about Giannis today. Between Jokic and JV, they'll have the full minutes. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where Zeke fits in. I don't know.
Well, here's what I actually think is going to happen. And maybe this is something we could talk about on the second segment, but I think that Jokic will play 28 minutes. Yep. I think that Jonas will play 20 minutes. I think it's pretty clear that that's kind of the direction that they are trending in. And as Jokic continues to go up, Jonas's minutes will continue to go down. And that's where they're kind of back into a little bit of more of a normal flow. But hopefully this is a good time for Denver to not have to amp him up, like, in Jokic up so extremely to the point where like he's uncomfortable and playing 35, 40 minutes on a consistent basis.
And they won't. They just look. I will say that's the process. I think that's my biggest takeaway from this process, from everything that we've seen about not only Nikola but Christian, about JV, about Cam. To me, this is like very evident that they're just not. They are willing. I think here's the lesson: if you are injured, they will be cautious with you. If you are not injured, they will play you. Like, that's kind of been the thing here, is like they need to back off of Jamal's minutes, but Jamal is healthy. So the guys that are healthy are playing, and that's kind of it. But they are still with Joker. They're going to be, if you're coming back from injury, you're going to be on the minutes restriction. They're going to try and be cautious with you. Now, I don't think that and like Adelman would tell you, he's not done a good job keeping him under. Like, you just, Aaron, Christian, like everybody, like nobody, they haven't kept the minutes down.
Yeah.
But with Joker, it's different. There's like, there are levels to this, and Joker's obviously the most important.
100%. How about this? Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to discuss the actual breakdown of Nuggets Clippers tonight. I'll tell you where I do think Zeke Naji fits into the rotation still. And we will also, in the third segment, reflect on this non-Jokic stretch and what it has meant for the other Nuggets. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. All righty, folks. There's nothing like being in the arena. You best believe that the arena is going to be bumping tonight. The crowd, the energy, the moment. Getting tickets, though, That part hasn't always been so simple, but that's why Gametime has become the go-to app for scoring tickets fast without the hassle. It puts the advantage back where it belongs, with the fans. If you're pulling up the Gametime app, you just pick an upcoming NBA game. Might I suggest this one tonight, and have the tickets locked in within minutes. Love seeing the all-in upfront price. That is definitely helpful in terms of figuring out just exactly how much you're going to pay. There's no hidden fees. They're telling you exactly where it's going to be. Zone deals have always stood out as a good option with Gametime. You just pick a section, and then Gametime actually picks the seats, and you save money as a result. Feels quick, intuitive, and stress-free from start to finish. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today, and remember, it's gametime.co, not .com. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. All right, folks, you have to check out the Everydayer Club. We have been putting out such great content, and there's so many great things. We sent out personal text message blasts to people with the Supercast kind of configuration that we've got there. And so everybody knows, breaking news, Nikola Jokic is back. Also sent out a personal trade idea that involved Giannis Antetokounmpo, not to the Nuggets, but to somebody else. You have to get in on all this good information. The Discord has been absolutely popping. You should have seen it when Jokic was announced in his return. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of good content in there. Make sure to go check out lockedonnuggets.supercast.com. Just click the first link in the description. Okay, Matt, let's talk about this game tonight. The Nuggets are facing the Los Angeles Clippers, who are, by my count, 16-3 in their last 19 games. That's a pretty good record and a massive turnaround for the Clippers, who have gone from one of the biggest disappointments in the NBA to one of the teams that's coming on strong. I don't know what their overall kind of levels that they could reach in the playoffs are, but they look a lot like the team that we assumed they would be back in the offseason. How do you think the rotation sort of breaks down? Or maybe if you want me to talk about the rotation, I can, like for this particular game and with the Clippers starting lineup.
I mean, they're still so short-handed. It's not like there's a lot of options here, right? So Jamal is probable. I just want it stated he should not be playing in this game. I just want that stated. Jamal Murray should not. And I know Jamal wants to. I get it. I know he can. I get it. That guy has taken on a huge amount of responsibility and minutes and time and taken a beating and has faced all these double teams all the time. And he has been very adamant. This is the way that it's always been for him, which I don't necessarily know if that's accurate. So he's going to start. It's him. Peyton.
You think they moved him into the starting lineup?
Oof.
Because it's been Jalen Pickett lately. Although Jalen, yesterday I was pretty disappointed with the way that Jalen played.
Yeah, but it's like it's like a matchup and night to night thing. It's like I think it's probably Jamal and Pickett, and then Peyton, Spencer, Yoke.
So the Clippers are going to start on the other side as long as everybody's healthy and good to go. They start Harden, Chris Dunn, Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, and Ivica Zubac. One thing that I was talking about with on Pickaxe earlier was that John Collins is kind of a tough matchup for Denver in this one if they want to use Peyton Watson to guard James Harden. Like if they start both Jalen Pickett and Jamal Murray, one of those guys probably is either going to have to guard John Collins or James Harden. And that's a tough situation for Denver to be in out of the gate, which is why I kind of think that Denver changes up the starting group again. It would not surprise me if Bruce Brown starts tonight in place of Jalen Pickett, and then they have Bruce on ball against James Harden.
I kind of mean this. This is genuinely what I would do. Is I would do Jamal, Peyton, Spencer, Zeke, Nikola. That's genuinely what I would do.
It's a good idea. Like you get the extra size. You don't necessarily the ball's going to be in the hands of Murray, Peyton, and Jokic the entire time. and then Zeke operates in the dunker spot or at the 3-point line. It's more about the defense. It's more about not giving up a whole bunch of easy baskets. But Jokic coming back from injury, it wouldn't surprise me if he's moving pretty slow and isn't necessarily like super engaged pick and roll wise.
Tony says Zeke is horrible though. And like Ryan and I have been pretty frustrated with Zeke as of late and throughout his career. But here's what I will tell you is like, if you put Bruce in that starting lineup, you're still switching 1-4, right? With Yoke. You're going to wind up with Kawhi matched up against Jamal or Bruce. You need enough size to be able to counter that. You need to be able to present an option of like, you can't get to, and like, I don't want Peyton on Kawhi at all. I don't want Peyton Watson anywhere near Kawhi.
It's going to happen.
Especially because he's not a power forward and should never play power forward.
Neither is Kawhi.
Yeah, he is. Like,
okay, so they're playing 2 power forwards now?
Yeah, they are. Like they literally are. Kawhi's whole thing is strength. That's where his like he's at now.
Oh yeah, like I understand it, and like it does make sense. It's why I think that they should try to find ways to get bigger. So whether it's Bruce instead of Jalen in the starting lineup and just getting a little bit of size on Harden, and then you leave, like you could have Peyton on John Collins, or it's not. Neither of those is a great scenario for your defensive rebounding, but you have Jokic back, so like you're going to be okay.
Kawhi struggles, or Kawhi dominates wiry guys. That's why Aaron is such a good matchup for him. Against him is like Aaron's big enough. You do not want the skinny guys on Kawhi Leonard, and Peyton's way too skinny. Like that's just got to be like Spencer Jones once again. Hey,
I want Spencer on him tonight.
Like congrats, Spencer. You once again, after facing Luka Doncic and basically every elite player in the league, have fun with this one as you will now be guarding Kawhi Leonard. But like that's the matchup that I want to try and get to as much, because Kawhi won't match up Hunt that much. Like he'll just kind of isolate and go. I like your idea of Watson on Harden because he's their best over screen defender. Like that's the problem. The problem is just like James is just going to be like, no, get Jamal over here. No, come over here, or Pickett or Bruce.
Yeah.
No, come here. So you need to be able to like, and you can't blitz him. You can't blitz him because he's too good at the pass into the short roll. And Zubac will just hit that floater over and over and over again. So you can't do that. Like, I mean, to be honest, like this is, if they were full strength, I would be like, oh yeah, Nuggets will win this game by, a couple possessions. But this is, I mean, it's rough. Like this Clippers team is really good and they present a lot of problems. And that's why the series last year was close.
Like I don't think that Nuggets, like it's great for Denver's momentum overall that they're getting Joker back. They're still not favored, or at least the last time I checked. Yeah, so it's definitely like still a thing where the Clippers have won 16 of 19 games and the Nuggets are still trying to figure it out, and they don't necessarily have the right matchups. However, like having Jokic back makes the offense a million times easier overall. And there are still going to be ways for them to be very impactful with that conversation. Before we go to another break, let's talk about awards really quick. Jokic is still technically eligible. It is not like he still has an opportunity if he wants to play the entire rest of the season, basically. Matt, you said he had 32 games played and they have 34 games left to go. Is that right?
Yeah, and he needs to get to 65.
Okay. So if you're a Nuggets fan, you have to like make this decision for yourself. Do you want Jokic to play 33 out of 34 games in order to possibly be eligible for All NBA or MVP and really try to go hard in that situation? Or would you rather him play 58, willingly give up the awards conversation and have the Nuggets continue to rest him and maximize for a playoff run for a championship?
It is over already. There's no reason for this. There's no reason to chase this. Okay? And like OKC is sliding. They lost again last night to the Wolves, but they're still 5 up on Denver in the loss column. If they finish above Denver and Shea plays 12 more games than Nikola, it doesn't matter if Nikola clears the 65. The voters, even if enough of them are like, I don't care, he's eligible and he's better, which I understand that viewpoint. I think that's a completely fair way to vote. There's going to be enough people that are like, Shea played 12 more games. Like he played 12 more games and they won more games. What you would have to have happen is you would have to have it to be where Denver catches OKC, passes them for the 1 seed, and Shea dips a little in production and efficiency.
And maybe misses some time.
Like, it's just, there's no realistic pathway here. I'm not telling you that Jokic isn't the MVP. He should be. I get it. I think he's the most impactful player in the league. I think when he's played, he's been absolutely insane. But that gap is too much, and it's definitely not worth them. The big trick is just going to be like, if he's got a bad ankle, if the wrist flares up, if the back is, whatever it is, they've got to be on him to be like, it's not worth it, man. Like, just take the game. It's fine.
Yeah.
The hard part of hopefully the hard part of handling without him, they did such a good job. Don't put that at risk with what this team did to try and stay afloat for him while he was out. Don't put that at risk by pushing through it.
I obviously I have the long-term view on this, and Nuggets fans should also try to at least understand the long-term view on this. That would you rather him gas out and be in a really difficult position down the stretch of the season because he played all 34 remaining regular season games, or would you rather him be rested and peaking at the right time when the Nuggets need him the most? I do think that there's really no question here from a macro standpoint. If you're very focused on the awards, I understand, because like if you have an opportunity, you feel like Jokic has had an MVP or two taken from him within the last 5-year stretch. If you feel that way, that you want to see him earn it rightfully this time around, but it may not even be rightfully. Like from a value standpoint and from a volume standpoint, you have to understand the argument for Shea is going to be larger. The gap is going to be too wide at this case. So it sucks. Like, it just straight up sucks. But I do think that the Nuggets are working for better things. So that's all it is to it. Okay, let's take another break. When we come back, we are going to discuss and reflect on the 16-game stretch that the Nuggets just had without Nikola Jokic and what it has shown us from this other crew. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. All right. It's the last call to get in on FanDuel for football season. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to get in on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. Super Bowl 60 is upcoming, and FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're backing the favorites, riding with the underdog, or building one last same game parlay, this is the game everyone's been waiting for. This is where predictions turn into plays, stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger. It's the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to final whistle. If you're a new customer, you can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season is over. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. All right, final segment, Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I know everybody's thrilled about Jokic coming back, but Matt, the last 16 games that the Nuggets have played without Jokic have both showed his value to the team, but also that there's a lot of other guys who deserve credit. There's a lot of other players.
Crazy talk.
That deserve
Ryan,
your
without
praise.
Nikola Jokic, they were going to lose every game. They were going to wait. Hang on a second. I got him.
Oh.
The next win is when Jokic comes back, sadly. That was after the Nets game. It's not that the other guys suck. It's that they're totally Jokic dependent. Without Jokic, the Nuggets are a bottom 5 team. This team is still too dependent. Without him, they are pretty cooked. Put some respect on their names, folks. Put some respect on Jamal Murray. Put some respect on Peyton Watson. Put some respect on Spencer Jones. Put some respect on Jalen Pickett. put some respect on David Adelman, put some respect on Tim Hardaway Jr., put some respect on the guys that came in, did the work, and helped this team go 10-6 without Nikola Jokic. These are professional ball players in the best league in the world.
It's been a tremendous run for Denver. And again, like they got some benefits from a weak schedule. I remember talking about this through the first kind of 10 or so games of that. Denver got to face the Eastern Conference in a situation where a lot of those teams, they didn't care that Jokic was down. It wasn't in their purview of trying to leapfrog the Nuggets in the standings, of really trying to take advantage. They're worried about themselves, and rightfully so during that stretch. But for the Nuggets, they really took advantage of that. And over the course of that entire stretch, I'm going to pull up some numbers here for what the Nuggets have averaged, like individual player wise, during that stretch. Obviously, you go 10-6. You can't win 10 games without doing some crazy stuff. Jamal Murray, nearly 28 points per game on 49.6, 40.5, 86.7 splits. 28-8 without Jokic, Matt. 28-8 is crazy. Peyton Watson goes for 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.5 turnovers, a steal, 1.5 blocks. He's been all around encompassing for what the Nuggets have done. There's been some weaknesses as he's learned how to handle his stuff, but has overall been really valuable. Aaron Gordon's averaged 16 a night. He played 10 of those 16 games. Unfortunate that he tried to come back and be there for this team in this non-Jokic stretch, and just unfortunate to pick up another hamstring injury during that stretch. Tim Hardaway, over 15 points per game off the bench during that stretch, 41% from the field, 39% from three on 8.4 three-point attempts per game. Dude's been filling it up. And then Jonas Valanciunas just recently came back and really helped get Denver Nuggets more wins during that stretch. The numbers are good. Like the Nuggets have stepped up, and led by Jamal Murray, Peyton Watson, obviously, but there've been contributions all over the place, including Spencer Jones, Jalen Pickett, Zeke Naji, whoever.
Yeah, and they just kind of triaged every game. So a lot of the numbers are interesting because if you look at it, so like they're 24th in defense, and their expected win rate in this stretch in the month of January, they're actually they're 9. They're 10-6. They're actually supposed to be, based off of how much they've won or lost by, they're supposed to be 8-8 is what they're supposed to be, or 7-9 is what they're actually supposed to be. But that's because when they lost so horribly, right? Like the Hornets game where they just get absolutely murdered on the second night of a back-to-back versus the hottest team in the Eastern Conference, or didn't hear Ryan talk about the Eastern Conference after that one. Or one of the other games, like they've had these games where it's just like, they just got beat. Like the Hawks game, it got away from them and they just like got ran out. And that makes sense because the rest of the time they were just kind of like, it's a fighter trying to stay up close, body blows, work the body, work the jab, and wear him out. And they really kind of did that. And it was really pretty impressive. I think that they were able to find answers in every game. They won a lot of different ways in this stretch. Yeah. Some nights it was defense. Some nights it was offense. Some nights it was Jamal. Sometimes it was Peyton. Sometimes it was just a collective team effort. Sometimes it was Jalen Pickett running pick and roll. Sometimes it was a big game from Tim Hardaway Jr. Like they got lots of contributions, which is what you should see. One of the things that I've said a lot is, okay, I do all this work on, you need to win these games in order to get X seed. And if you have X seed, blah, blah, blah. But if we're talking more just basketball, I'll tell you this, the great teams are the ones that win when things don't go right. And nothing has gone right for Denver this season. Like for the last month and a half, at least for the last 2 months, really, nothing's gone to plan. They've had to triage everything. And yet here they are with the 3rd seed in the Western Conference, 1 game back of the San Antonio Spurs, in prime position to be able to make a run with the way the schedule's shaping up and as they get healthier. So like, it's just really impressive to me that they were able to get this done and do what they did in these situations. Like they were just really impressive throughout this process.
I think if we go back and think about what the conversation was like when Jokic went down, once we figured out that he actually had a timetable and it wasn't going to be a season-ending injury, I still thought that, Denver on the road trip that they were on, they went 3-4 that initial 7-game road trip. I thought that they could go 1-6. It was very clear that they were overwhelmed at times, but just dug deep, found ways to do it, and have consistently done that over and over and over again. They had a 4-game winning streak in there. They found ways to win and were very competitive in even some of the games that they lost to. But it's just been nice to see and nice to give some credit to and just make sure that, like, look, everybody has to acknowledge that this isn't just a Jokic team. I know that that's the feeling around, and like it's one of the things that I was bemoaning for the last sort of 5 years was that like Jokic is the only one that's ever won an award for this team, has never actually been credited, and so we're breaking away from that. With
it would be pretty cool if somebody got became an all-star, right?
Yeah,
like
it'd be pretty cool.
Like if they became an all-star for the first time, and maybe they could be excited about it.
Yeah,
and just answer yes, it would be like really excited. Like it means a lot to me. Like you could just say that in a press conference.
I think
he's wanted to know.
He will say that after Sunday. I've no doubt about it. There is a pressure that is built up for him that he will be able to release.
He also gave me a really good answer on the previous question I asked. So I have to this happens where he gives me a good answer. This is Jamal if we're talking about, if you don't know. He gives me a good answer, and then I'm like, oh, like we're in a good place. I can ask another one. And then he kills me.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, no, I gave you one good answer. Now I have to return to being a jerk to you. That is what must happen. I did think that was interesting though, Ryan, when we talk about like things that we learned. That comment, I sent it to you in the chat last night. I think it was the most interesting thing from Jamal's presser last night, is that he said how much it helped him playing more minutes in the first, because he was able to get a sweat going and able to work through stuff where it's not like you go in and you have a bad start and then you go to the bench. And so you're coming back off with a bad start. He gets to get in rhythm. You want to get the best out of Jamal, might be time to kill the stagger.
I was just saying, like, I think it's perfectly reasonable. It's a great opportunity, I think, for Peyton now. Like he can stagger in the second group and in the second unit. He'll start for these remaining however many games that Gordon is out, I think. But I think the way that they should do it is just play Joker Jamal. Play the Jokic Murray 2-man game all the way through the first quarter, basically.
Stagger Cam. If Peyton starts, stagger Peyton. Peyton gets operate. The more I've thought about it, I love the combo of Jonas Valanciunas, Cam Johnson, and Peyton Watson. Length, versatility, the ability. Like I'm not worried about them bringing the ball up. I'm not worried about them getting into the sets. You've got guys that can run off of the DHO and make reads. You've got Jonas there to be able to clean up the offensive glass. You've got size and physicality to get past the first line of defense into the paint to force defensive help. And they're both good passers. Like that can work. That's a good idea.
It's really good. There's a lot of good things that can come of it, man. It's very, very interesting.
What's the combo tonight that you're most interested in seeing with Yoke back?
I really want to see like how much Peyton touches the basketball. Like I'm actually very curious about this and what it's going to look like and where and how he touches the basketball, because so much of this last 16 games has been a blending of like, okay, I'm going to initiate offense sometimes, I'm going to isolate sometimes, I'm going to catch on the second side and attack. Where is it going to be for Peyton? Is it just going to be spot ups? Is it going to be going back to the dunker spot and cuts and things like that?
Yeah.
What is it going to look like? How are they going to involve him?
Well, it's just going to be absolutely amazing. Like however this goes is going to be absolutely amazing in our chat. It's just going to be absolutely incredible in our group chat. Just so fun.
Gosh.
The one I'm really most interested in is Spencer.
Yeah.
So Spencer, I think I haven't seen the numbers, but I'm pretty sure he's in a little bit of a shooting slump. Had a bad game last night. The minutes with him and Nikola were not good. And I'm a little bit concerned about that. Like Spencer is a really good individual defender who makes a lot of hustle plays, but Spencer's learning how to be a team defender in the NBA. Like this is his first real season in the NBA. He's basically a rookie.
Yeah.
And this is a big learning curve for him. And playing around Nikola is a bit of a challenge defensively. Minutes with Peyton were bad defensively. Like the minutes with Peyton and Jokic offensively were incredible in limited minutes.
Shockingly so. Like
like that to me, I mean, it makes sense to me because like Spencer, I mean, Peyton's just shooting Peyton is shooting the ever loving leather off of the ball as long as he doesn't dribble. I'm serious.
Like, no, you're right. You're 100% right.
It's just not a dig. Like that's not me. Like, and it's hard. Like your curve is lower for off the dribble stuff. Like I adjust for that. It's not like I don't expect you to shoot as well on ball as you do off.
Yeah.
But in the month of January, Ryan, he has 78% effective field goal percentage on catch and shoot jumpers.
That's pretty good.
It's insane. Right?
Simplified process. Yeah.
And so this is kind of one of the questions though, is just like how much does Peyton get to / they call for / he calls his own number for a freelance ISO possession? Like how much does that happen? Or is this or does he slide back into just being a Jokic ball player, which is great. Defend, make high level plays, get out in transition, hit open threes. You'll win a lot of games that way.
Whatever happens, the content is going to be spectacular. We're very much looking forward to it. So everybody go check out Everydayer Club if you haven't already.
I'm putting up sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, buddy. I'm putting up the scouting report on the Clippers right after this. So that'll be up in for the Everydayers at lockedonnuggets.supercast.com. There is a link in the episode description, whether you're listening on podcast or on YouTube. Just go find that, click on that, and go sign up. I'm telling you, the community is we are growing, and you guys are going to have a lot of fun. You will have fun in the Discord, I promise you.
Oh yeah, it's been good. It's a lot like this chat, except we get to respond in real time and then yell at you. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, everybody, enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the moment tonight. The cheer for Jokic when he comes back into the starting lineup is going to be amazing. Hope you guys make sure to check it out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. We'll talk to you guys very soon.